One of the most common questions I'm asked, and I think a lot of our staff are asked, is what's wrong with me? Why can't I lose weight? I've done it all, I've tried it all, I've used every program, and people are not kidding when they say it. You listening right now can probably say, yeah, I've done half a dozen things, whether they're formal programs or just getting into the gym or whatever it is for you, but people are always wondering, and you're probably wondering too, why am I not getting anywhere? Oftentimes, literally anywhere in terms of moving the scale and being successful. And I think it's really critical. It's one of the first conversations I have with just about every patient is helping you to understand that there is a reason why you have not been able to lose weight. And on the flip side, there's a reason why you're finding yourself where you are with this weight challenge. And it's critical for you to understand that it's not your fault. That might sound like an easy thing to say, but step back with me and think about it. You probably know someone who seems to be able to eat whatever they want, exercise a ton or not exercise at all, and they have no problem losing weight or maintaining their weight, right? They're the person who can put away a pizza where you look at that pizza and you feel like you gained 2 pounds. And so when you step back and you say, what's the difference? You have to be able to say, there's something there. It's not as simple as genetics. That's a cop-out, right? We all have essentially the same genes, and genes are simply a blueprint. They're like a roadmap. I can give you a map to get from here to there, but there's a million different ways to do it. You can do it very efficiently. You can take 500 side roads and get lost, and your genes are really the same way. So when you can throw that out the window and say, what is the difference between me and this person we're talking about? Because I bet that if you look back, you know someone who's exactly this, a friend, a loved one, a neighbor, a relative, whoever it is. And so what most people settle in on, and they say, well, it's got to be their metabolism. Their metabolism is whatever, is better, is stronger, is again, genetically more favorable. Realize that, when you look at it this way, your metabolism is not one thing. It's a buzzword that a lot of people throw out without any qualification. They just say, this is the newest and best metabolism boosting supplement, or we have the metabolic answer, or, but again, there's nothing that backs that up. So when you really step back and say, what is your metabolism? It's not one thing. So it's not really realistic to jump in there with just a generic treatment or supplement or exercise protocol and say, we're going to boost your metabolism, because you're boosting nothing. Because your metabolism, or a working metabolism, is a byproduct of your body being in a state of balance. There are many organs, thyroid, specifically a lot of people focus in on when we talk about metabolism, but you can have a perfectly functioning thyroid and still have an issue with weight, or you could have a weight problem and have a massively sluggish thyroid. But again, it's always about why in your body specifically. And that's why we take a different approach when we're looking at your body. It's not a one-size-fits-all. It's not an exercise protocol. It's not a diet, and it's certainly not injecting your body with hormones or some kind of synthetic, stimulant booster, whatever. There are a million different ways out there that are somewhat scary, let's face it. So when we look at your body, we're looking at it through that lens and with that understanding that there's a reason. It's not something that you have necessarily been complicit in creating. And that's important to realize, because there are so many challenges today that none of us even think about, in terms of the toxins in our food, in our air, in our water, the hormone mimicking things in our foods, the way that things are passed down heritably, not genetically, but physically inherited, that can cause this kind of landslide that we're seeing, with one generation being so much sicker, so much quicker than the last. It's a reason why I think when you look back, even 50, 60, 70 years, when I talked to my grandparents, it was unusual to see someone who was struggling with their weight, to the point that sometimes these people were really treated incredibly poorly because it was looked at like it was just laziness, when, again, today, we know that's 100% not the case. It's always something in the body that needs to be identified, needs to be addressed. And that's exactly why we do what we do in terms of evaluating your body, finding out what those reasons, or the reason is, and doing everything that we can to move your body away from that challenge, getting you back into a place where your body is as balanced as possible. And that's why we see the results that we've seen.